SM 101. I am excited to bring this conversation we're having with Brandon. He was the co-founder of Joist, been in the business now for 10 years, 8 of which dedicated to serving the home improvement industry. Through Joist, they grew it to over 1 million contractors, powered 100 billion in home improvement projects. And he's now on to something different, something very special. If you're a business owner like myself, there are a lot of lost opportunities when you potentially miss a phone call. And as we grow our businesses, we have to try and capture those leads while still building the business. So a lot of the times we find ourselves having to hire out or delegate the task of inbound calls, whether it be sales or repeat clients wanting to ask questions or other businesses wanting to partner with us in some format. And we want to be able to capture those some way somehow, and sometimes if we miss out on those because we're so busy, it could be a lost opportunity. So I want to bring Brendan on here right now to just share with us some of the reasons why he decided to get on to this next endeavor of his. Brendan, welcome.
Thanks, Alex. Good to be here. Look forward to diving into this stuff today.
Right on. Let's just get into the
Yeah.
questions. Thanks for hopping on. So I'm sure a lot of the people watching this video right now want to know why software. What how did you get into software maybe in the first place? But then why more specifically contractors?
So, why software in the first place is a good question. I, out of college, took like a sort of unpaid intern analyst job at in the finance industry, where we were investing in like early stage technology startup companies, and it was super boring. The entrepreneurs we were meeting on the other side of the table were having way more fun, doing way more interesting and sort of like exciting things with their time and with their lives. So I ended up not lasting very long on the finance side of it, and just kind of jumped across the table and joined the first technology company that I could meet. And that business focused on small businesses. It was like brick and mortar retail, but we were helping them distribute their products online across North America to online shoppers. But pretty quickly, I got to know my co-founders at Joist. We worked in the same sort of like co-working space, and I ended up joining up with them, and started what ultimately became Joist, which was kind of a better way. This is 2013, so this was like a better way on your mobile device or your iPad or Android tablet to produce estimates, invoices, manage payments, manage clients on the go, instead of having to do that, when you got home from the job site in the evening. So that was sort of the genesis of Joist. You kind of covered sort of where we took the business over time. We're obviously really, really proud of that, and had a ton of fun doing it along the way. But yeah, I mean, over the years at Joist, we kind of saw this problem up front every day. We were obviously focused on the estimates and the invoices and the payments, but the communications side of the business was something that we really tried to help our customers with over the years, but didn't have much success doing. Their phones are buzzing off the hook with new inquiries. Their active clients are pinging them, trying to connect with them on something. People are calling them, trying to sell them stuff, and you're constantly following up with people in the pipeline to keep things moving forward. You've got actual scammers that are calling you and like trying to get your social insurance number, your social security number, to rip you off somehow. Or you have this, your suppliers or the bank is calling about the small business loan. Like there's so many different things and reasons your phone is buzzing off the hook. You're spending time on your phone. And yeah, like I said, we tried to help people with this at Joist, but at the end of the day, conversations wasn't really possible to use software to automate conversations and automate these interactions with all the different people in and around your business day to day. And so we weren't really able to help there. And that's essentially why we got started with Olympian. Is now you can use software. I'll try not to get too
I'm gonna.
technical.
I'll let me just stop you right there. We're gonna
Yeah.
we kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit, but
Okay. Okay.
it's that's okay. That's okay. You can tell Brandon's excited. I think this is something. I mean, Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, this is the kind of stuff that gets you out of bed in the morning. I'm sure. You
Yeah.
know, you
That
just
that and the kids. Yeah.
yeah, where they open your eyes up.
Yeah. Exactly. Start
Wake
typing.
up, Dad. Wake up.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so since you touched on it just a little bit there, I don't know if anyone caught it, but I'm gonna ask you the question that I think everyone's kind of wondering. It's like what, and I think you touched on it a bit already. Is what was the inspiration,
Yeah.
or what kind of problem or gap in the industry
Yeah.
does this AI software that
Yeah.
you're introducing to the market? What does it fill, and what
Yeah.
problem does it solve for the contractor?
Yeah. Yeah. So it really gets back to this problem with just being inundated with communication, both inbound and outbound day to day. Um, you kind of asked about the gap. The way we kind of think about it is like you have a few legacy or like current approaches to solving this problem today. You could hire a dedicated admin, but they're super expensive. They take time to find, train, manage. They may not even be reliable. Ultimately, you may have to get rid of them, or they may quit to go back to school or take a different job. And even if they're like perfect, they can only handle so much before you like need to hire a second one to get your business to the next level. And so they don't actually scale that well. And it's like best case, if you're really successful and you find great admins, you could still find yourself forking out hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on a team of them over time. And so it's just a super, super expensive solution with a lot of risks involved. You could spend a little bit less money on like an outsourcing option, like a call answering service or a virtual assistant agency, but they're still pretty expensive. Depending on the volume you're doing, they could still be $1,200-$1,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But they're even worse quality wise. Like they're often very unreliable. You get really high turnover at those like staffing agencies, and so you like wake up one morning and you've been assigned a new VA that knows nothing about your business.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of cases, they're offshore. And so you end up running into language issues that unfortunately are just like a real thing when you're talking about people interacting with your customers.
So if you have an existing process,
Yeah.
so like you were saying, guys are gonna save a lot of money potentially, um, hiring, say, a normal receptionist where I don't know,
Yeah.
average is maybe $20 an hour.
Yeah.
At the price point of this right now, I believe it's what was it, 185 for 185 a month.
Yeah, we have a few different pricing plans ranging from about 85 a month up to typically sort of like the mid hundreds, mid to high 100s. Our top plan is sort of custom pricing based on how much customization work you want over
For
time.
sure.
But that's generally the range to give you a sense.
So like for a business owner, the allure there is some huge uh, overhead costs being eliminated, right?
Yeah,
And if you can eliminate, and we're always look, I mean, a savvy business owner will look to eliminate costs without having to sacrifice the quality of
yeah,
business that they're running. So how can be is whether you whether you're looking at hiring a receptionist or
yeah,
an admin person, or there's one already in place that you might be looking to replace,
yeah.
um, how or how can the AI receptionist integrate into an existing business system, and what could potentially make it more what what are what are the added benefits versus a live receptionist, using AI over a
Yeah.
live receptionist? Okay, real quickly, we're gonna pause this video. Olympian AI has gone ahead and created a special link just for supporters of ASM 101 to sign up through and receive an extended free trial. This trial goes from 14 days to a full 30 days free trial. It gives you a good opportunity to see this software come to life in your business, and you really get to see the benefits of it. Again, head down to the description below, sign up through that link, and enjoy your extended free trial. Thanks to Olympian and ASM 101, we're able to deliver this to you guys. All right, let's get back to the video.
Yeah. So in terms of like how it plugs into your system, your existing system, it's actually pretty straightforward. It plugs into your phone system, typically just through call forwarding. So like you can keep your existing business line. You don't have to change anything there. And you just have calls forwarded to your AI and it handles them that way. And then really the only other pieces are, if you want it booking appointments and sending invites, then you just connect your calendar or your scheduling system so that it has insight into when you're available, when you're not, and can actually create the events. Um, and then, so those are like the two core parts. And then many of our customers also connect their CRM so that their AI has better insight into like what's going on with their customers and with their projects further along in their process and can start being helpful there as well. Um, so that's kind of like how it plugs into your existing tech stack. In terms of your existing like sales process, we just work really closely with our customers upfront and on an ongoing basis to totally customize it to their way of doing things. So if you have, your own unique like lead qualification or intake script, we'll train the AI on that exact script. So it's asking all the right questions for your business and it's answering questions that the client might have the way you would want them answered. Same thing with scheduling. If you have a particular set of rules or a set of like decision making things about how you schedule appointments, whether it's like the location of the client or whatever. Again, we like totally customize and train the AI to do it your way.
Yeah, that's for me, when you and I first got introduced
Yeah,
and you and I first started talking, the the need for it wasn't quite there for me yet
yeah,
because of the amount of inbound. But honestly, like when you first brought it to my attention, my initial thought was, I'm not I don't receive enough inbound
yeah,
calls of any nature.
yeah.
But then after our phone call, I started, being really, it made me more aware of how many inbound calls that I do get. And then I
Cool.
thought back, there's been times where I've been on the roof
Yeah,
and I've just been inundated with phone calls. And as soon as I get back to what I'm doing,
yeah,
the phone rings again and again and
yeah,
again. And then my crew, they sit there and they're like, okay, well, I guess we got to wait for
yeah,
Alex to get
yeah,
back
yeah,
because he's on the phone. Sometimes these phone, and I don't know if there's any contractors out there like me. I will walk and talk. I cannot
yeah,
sit still and talk. It's just, I don't know, whatever it is. It
yeah,
just gets my ideas flowing. So
yeah.
I'll walk from, I'll get down off the roof. I'll go and see this other thing. Sometimes the client's like, "Hey, can you go check this thing out on the other side of the building?"
Yeah,
So I have to get down while I'm on the. Anyways,
yeah, yeah,
so I think in terms of, and I'm sure you know this already, how, what kind of feedback have you been getting with your existing clients
yeah,
who have subscribed to this or have purchased this
yeah,
software? What kind of benefits are they seeing for their own time and their own
yeah,
just management of
yeah,
time?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, one that comes to mind, I guess, just Alex, because of your similarities to your roofing business in terms of like who the end client is, the sort of ticket sizes of the projects they're taking on. We have a fairly high end landscaping company actually out here in Sacramento, around Sacramento. Run by a guy named or owned by a guy named Andrew. He's awesome. He and I have become really close over the last few months. He's a super savvy operator, super sophisticated. They do, like I said, large, very high end landscaping projects to pretty sophisticated clients. And as crazy as it sounds, like before he found us, he had inbound inquiries going straight to his estimator's cell phone. And you know, this is not just any estimator. This guy is like full time dedicated estimator doing $150,000 landscaping projects, $80,000 landscaping projects. So like this guy is super skilled. His time is worth a lot. But like that's the way they were doing it because they didn't have any better options. Andrew didn't love the idea of hiring dedicated help. I think he probably had some bad experiences with it in the past, recognized how expensive it was, but also that scaling factor. Like recognize like even if he went back into the market and tried to find another dedicated admin, in 6 9 months he'd be looking for a second in order to continue growing his business. And so I think that's what kind of resonated to him with what we were doing. So he found his way to our website one weekend, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. He got himself set up in a matter of minutes and went live that weekend. And we just launched a new dashboard feature in the app that shows the business owner a bunch of sort of like metrics about like how many inbound inquiries are coming through, how many appointments are being booked, that sort of thing. One of them is how much time the AI is essentially saving his business on a daily, weekly basis. He's basically gained a day back per week. It's actually a little over a day. So like over the course of a 7-day week, he's just gained a full day back just from his AI handling those inbound inquiries. So that's the one that really comes to mind. Now we're working really closely with him to actually expand the role of his AI so it will follow his customers and perform tasks and handle interactions and conversations deeper and deeper into his process beyond just intake and scheduling that initial appointment.
Well, that's going to be my next question is,
Yeah.
where what's the potential of this? But before we do that, I just
Sure.
want to kind of hone in on, so, time back,
Yeah.
getting time back is, I mean, there is no other, that's the most finite resource we
Yeah.
have, right? We
Yeah.
don't know how much of it we have left. And once we spend it, it's gone forever,
Yeah.
right? So, when there's something that comes along that, and in business it teaches me, it has taught me so much about
Yeah.
how valuable time is, right?
Yeah.
Because what you do in that time
Yeah.
is so important. So the I think what I would like to go a little bit deeper about, say, guys like Andrew who
Yeah.
have seen the benefits of
Yeah.
this through time, but what other kind of benefits
Yeah.
is there, like in terms of, I mean, I think we did discuss the cost savings, but
Yeah.
can we go a little bit deeper on some of those things, what maybe on a more personal level for Andrew, has he shared with you? Maybe can you dive a little deeper on that?
The first one right off the bat is just like it's unlocked his estimator, his dedicated estimator's time. His name's David, um, and so he's like I said, like his time is worth a lot of money, and so with that extra time, he's able to actually go out and do more appointments. He's able to nurture and sort of tend more closely and with like more effectiveness to the sort of the homeowners and the prospects in their sales pipeline. So he's not only able to do more appointments, but he's actually able to like sell and close more effectively. And so it really increases the sort of throughput in their sales process. And it kind of goes back to this notion of like, this isn't just about time or cost savings. Like, this can actually help you help unblock your effort to like take your business to the next level and scale. And so I think that's been one of the like major sources of impact is just unlocking that dedicated estimator's time. I think even if you don't have a dedicated estimator, if you as the business owner are the one going out and doing appointments and estimating, helping with estimating, planning, selling the job, then it's your time that it unlocks. And so the end impact is still the same. It kind of just like boosts your throughput throughout your sales funnel and unblocks growth.
So like the idea for me like behind hiring anyone,
Yeah,
and I've been told the receptionist admin is probably one of the most essential hires to scaling
yeah,
the business, right? To
yeah,
offload that, like to delegate and then
yeah,
to
for
offload.
sure.
But I'm trying to come at it from Andrew's point where it's like when something's handled properly,
Yeah,
you know, it just relieves this stress,
yeah,
that I had, and we got a hard enough time handing over the keys to the kingdom as
yeah,
it is because like any business owner has done out there, they've done it, they got burned, and then they're
yeah,
like, oh, I just spent a buttload of money on
yeah,
payroll for this person just
yeah,
to kind of make it worse,
for
right?
sure.
So I can imagine, has Andrew or any of your other customers
Yeah,
mentioned the efficiency side of things and how that compared to maybe an admin person they had in the past or
yeah,
something like that. How efficient is this or could AI,
yeah, yeah,
how much better of a job could it
yeah.
do?
Well, it's funny, like in terms of efficiency, it's literally like infinitely efficient because it can handle an infinite number of customers at the exact same time. So
That's crazy.
yeah, like obviously, depending on the volume your business does, that scenario may be more or less relevant. But yeah, if you're doing meaningful amount of volume or you're operating at a significant enough scale, like you absolutely probably have the phone ringing multiple times simultaneously from like different sources. You have an existing customer calling you at the exact same time you're on the phone with an inbound customer and it's or inbound lead. And it's like, so how do you like, what do you do in that scenario? How do you prioritize whether to like hit ignore or hit end call and pick up? Whereas this thing can just handle both at the exact same time. Um, I think in terms of like effectiveness, I just think that that immediate response 100% of the time, whether it's 9 o'clock in the morning, whether it's at lunchtime, when a human admin would normally maybe like be on break, getting a bite to eat, or whether it's at like 9 o'clock in the evening, when no human being is paying attention to their phone, or maybe they're doom scrolling through Instagram or something, but they're certainly not working. Um, yeah, this thing will handle whatever gets thrown at it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
It'll also do it in any language that gets thrown at it. So this may be more or less relevant depending on where your business is located, but certainly out here in California, that's a huge thing. This thing is qualifying leads and booking appointments in Spanish. Hundreds of times a day across our customer base, whether it's California, Texas, wherever. Up in Canada, you got Quebec. So like the multilingual factor has been a really surprising thing for us to see, but a surprisingly big thing. It also doesn't get annoyed or frustrated or lippy, whether that's with the customer or it's with you as the business owner when you're like giving it feedback by training it to answer a question a little bit differently the next time it comes up.
Right.
So yeah, in a lot of ways, it kind of is like this dream team member.
I was as you're talking there, I was gonna say, you know, I wouldn't expect, my employee to
Yeah,
answer the phone after hours. And
yeah,
if they came in saying like, yeah, I got a call from so and so at like 9 o'clock last night, I said, well, why did you pick that up? Like, why? You don't
yeah,
own the business. Like, tell me about it and I'll call them
yeah,
back.
yeah,
But these AI thing. They don't have feelings. They don't
Yeah,
have, they don't
yeah,
get overwhelmed with emotion.
yeah,
Some people, you train it and it does what you
yeah.
say. Now, I I want to kind of close this conversation because we
Cool.
might giving too much away. But I
Sure.
think by now some people have been convinced, and if you aren't convinced, there's going to be another video we're going to release where we do a full demo. Brandon and I are just going to sit down. I'm going to pretend I'm this new client,
Yeah,
saying, hey, take me through it, and go into the description box below, and you'll find the link to that video. But I think what's next
yeah,
for this kind of software? Because as you're talking to me, my mind starts to go to other places
yeah,
where it's like, okay, so if it's after hours, how does it work? Or if there's an argument or some
yeah,
kind of, I don't know, disagreement, how
yeah,
does it handle it?
yeah,
And or maybe let's ask you, because I think our thinking is limited in terms of software. I mean, you're the guy. You're in the game 24/7. Like, where do you see AI
yeah,
going in
yeah.
this facet?
Yeah, I mean, there's three sort of core things that we are really focused on, and we'll sort of focus our efforts into the future around. The first is just making it more and more helpful and more valuable with like handling these inbound inquiries and getting appointments scheduled. So there are a few examples of that. Like one is we're actually shipping this today, but basically what it does is it will, based on the client's address, based on your business's address or the job site address that you're currently on, and then based on all of the other pre-existing appointments in your calendar when it's scheduling, it will take all of that into account to find times in the calendar for that new appointment that minimize drive time. So to, in this spirit of like trying to help you save even more and more time, we've got this location-based scheduling thing that's actually shipping today. Um, we're adding a live AI voice. So, today where it's all text message based, in the next month or two, we'll ship this live voice capability so it can actually answer the call and it'll handle intake and scheduling through live voice if you want. And there are some other examples like that. We'll add a live chat widget to your website because intake forms, help capture the client's information, but they don't help convert. And so our customers, a lot of our customers complain that their websites aren't converting as well as they could be. So we'll add a live chat widget so that as soon as a new visitor hits your homepage, your AI will immediately engage with them to try to pull them in rather than rely on them converting naturally.
Brandon, I'm just going to stop you for a second. Guys, pay attention to what Brandon is saying. This is no joke. Like, I'm telling you, like, even if you already have an admin
Yeah,
or a receptionist, right? You could delegate half of their task list to the AI and then free them up to do even more scalable activities.
yeah,
Like, some of the stuff that the admin person does is pretty redundant. That's why it's admin.
yeah,
But there's also, like, so AI takes the monotonous chunk out of it
yeah,
and then allows for more, scalable, profitable activities. I'm
yeah.
telling you. And so sorry, Brennan. Like,
It's all good.
dude, the first time him and I talked, this is like I was double what I am right now. But I'm telling you, there's gonna be kinks, right? There's gonna be, stuff like stumbling blocks. It's like a baby learning to walk. Okay, first you crawl, and you know the deal, right? So,
Yeah,
sorry, Brennan, I
it's
cut
all
you
good.
off there,
It's
but
all good. Yeah, I mean
the
that was
voice
just
thing, the voice thing just went,
yeah,
just
that
blew
was
my
just
brain out of my
the
skull.
first
Yeah,
bucket of things that we're doing. Um,
that's
the,
awesome.
the second is I kind of mentioned this earlier, but like the AI's role, we want it to expand further and further down your process. So like today, it kind of the AI hands the lead back over to you once the appointment's been booked. But realistically, this thing can and should send a pre-appointment reminder to the client that like pumps you up to them, maybe shows a picture and a little bio for the estimator that's going to be coming to the appointment to create, build rapport, show off your brand, how professional you are, that sort of thing. Should send a post-appointment thank you to the homeowner. It can issue and follow up on outstanding quotes, collect signatures, deposits, issue invoices and collect final payment, collect a review, automatically post it to your website and your social accounts. So like there's just like a bunch more helpful stuff that this thing can and will do after the estimate appointment.
And
Um,
after you went to bed,
after that's right. After
while
you
you're
went,
sleeping,
or while you're on a roof.
or while you're on a roof. And
That's
I sleep on
right.
roofs too.
While you're sleeping on the roof. Um, And then the last one is we want to make it a little bit more of like an actual sidekick or assistant to you, the business owner, by enabling you to like delegate tasks. Like it's going to be doing all of these tasks automatically. Like I kind of just ran through. It's answering the phone, it's scheduling appointments, but there's also just like ad hoc, just one-off stuff that comes up over the course of the day that needs to get done. And so we want to basically like allow you to just delegate that stuff really quickly and effortlessly, maybe by sending it a text message. Like maybe you have just an ongoing text message conversation with your AI where you're delegating tasks to it. So like if you're driving home from the job site at the end of the day, and a thought occurs to you, like you could just tell it to reschedule Jim for Tuesday morning and remind him to send the photos. Or you could have it ping Susan that we're going to be 10 minutes late coming into the job site tomorrow because you need to swing by to grab some materials on the way or something. You can ask it if Jim has signed the contract yet, and like if not, can you follow up with him and let him know we'll knock 5% off the price if he signs by the end of the weekend or something. So
Totally.
and then it'll like you could send that text message yourself, but first of all, maybe you're driving, so you don't have the ability to send it. But second of all, even if you're sitting there on your phone, like you could, you don't have to worry about the wording or politeness or any of that stuff. You just like tell the AI what you want it to do in as few words as possible, and it will worry about how to actually craft the follow-up and deliver it to the client. um,
A lot of these guys, guys like myself, there's a lot of us out there who are, the tech
right,
guy who
right,
decided to start a business,
yeah,
and their business education comes from, the hard knocks, in the trenches,
yeah,
that kind of stuff. So I'll tell you, when if it's not my genius, like the activity, like the of an admin or receptionist person, that activity is not my genius. If anything, I'd rather chew glass than have to be behind a computer. I'd rather be driving to the job or driving to the next one to sell it, right?
yeah,
Because that's where I gain the people's trust because of how I talk about what I
yeah,
do. They just trust me instantly
yeah,
because they feel like they're in control.
yeah,
So if there was, and I always think about it while I'm driving, if there was something I could just kind of flip up and say, so and so, I need to be reminded
yeah,
at, and it's like I wish I had someone sitting next to me
right,
in my driver's seat,
yeah,
recording down what my thoughts were,
yeah,
but I would just say to them, and
yep,
this could be that, like an
yeah,
AI, as there's virtual
yeah,
assistants. They're no good
yeah,
because
good stuff.
sometimes they don't even understand the language,
Yeah,
and it's just the reality of it.
yeah,
But this, it's just, so there's so much potential.
yeah.
um any parting words for anyone who's listening? uh anything you
Yeah.
might want them to hear
No,
before?
I guess just underscore that, hopefully it came out in some of the anecdotes that we ran through. But yeah, I mean, our founding principle at Joist and our founding principle here at Olympian is just we're like obsessed with our customers. We're like very, very, very customer centric, very customer obsessed. I kind of mentioned like our landscaping customer Andrew and I are in touch constantly. we really try to like craft this product around the needs and the goals of our actual customers. So yeah, anyone that ends up finding their way to our product, as a result of this, we're looking forward to getting to know you and serving your business, and working with you closely to sort of help build this thing out in the most valuable way possible.
Awesome, Brandon. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. I think you've provided more than enough value on today's call. Today's video was more or less to introduce you guys to Brandon, see where he's coming from in terms of his offerings, and like I'm not just bringing anybody on this channel. I think there's a ton of potential here. And Brandon, I'd like to thank you for coming on today. It's been nice talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Alex. It was a blast.
Okay, man. We'll chat soon.
Okay, see you, dude.
See you, man. Guys, I'm telling you, and you know, everything you're going to need to have access to Brandon or to check out the website. It's called Olympian AI. It's a AI assistant, AI a receptionist, and it's at its infancy. So we're gonna work with Brendan. Like, don't just discount it. And there's a lot of stuff coming. So again, if you're interested, head into the description. I'm going to put a bunch of links down there for you guys to click onto and go check out. And stay tuned. Next week, we're going to be releasing a demo of the actual dashboard and the internal workings of this AI software, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. If you want to see a video of how AI is taking over the industry, click right here, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.